Welcome to the Couch Potato Sports Show,
your internet radio home for all sports, news, and talk.
Join Sonny Clark, the hardest working man in sports radio,
and the Eagle Eye,
Bill Cerna,
and the best co-host anyone could ask for,
Cuervo. We cover it all.
NFL, NBA, MLB, NHL, as well as indoor football and high school sports.
Now, it's time. Here's Sonny Clark.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome into the Couch Potato Sports Show. It is me, Sonny Clark, the hardest working man in sports radio here on a Sunday afternoon. For that being said, yes, our Sunday morning tradition is moved into the afternoon during the off season, and we are here now in the afternoon covering what's going on during the regular season. 9 a.m. to noon Central Standard Time. Take you right up to kickoff as the NFL will be starting. Just to give you an idea also, folks, just to keep you informed. All right, keeping you informed means, what are we doing? Real soon, Cuervo and I are going to start kicking in, and we will be starting the NFL division breakdowns. We're going to do it in 4 weekends, guys, okay? 4 weekends before week number 1, and we will cover the NFC and AFC North, the AFC and NFC East, the AFC and NFC South, and the AFC and NFC West. We're going to be doing it in 4 weeks. We're going to cover all the teams. We're going to give our looks at what's going on in today's game. We'll give you our looks at each team and where we think they'll end up when it's said and done at the end of the season, who we think will make the playoffs, who we don't. We'll be doing all that. And that's going to be kicking off here really soon here as we are getting close to the NFL start of the season. And it's always a big, month for us, at least on Sundays, covering the NFL, getting ready for the season and ready to go. Now, today, 4th of July. Hope everybody's having a fantastic holiday. Some people may or may not be on the show. I don't know if Cuervo's going to be on the show or not. I got a message out to him. He, let's see here. His wording was, here it is. Do you want to do a show 4th of July, Sonny? I said, I don't care, but your family may not want you to because, he's in a different situation than he was. So he may be spending some family time as far as that is concerned. I let him know I love doing holiday shows. Holiday shows makes, first of all, day go by. Second of all, gives us something to do. Third of all, we're talking sports, and there's nothing more fun to do that. Also, if those that want to get in there, make sure you can put your comments on there. We'll cover your comments, put them up on the screen so everybody can see what's going on as far as the comments from the folks that are out there in that. So, again, I don't know if we're going to get Cuervo. I'm going to act like we're not. I'm not sure. I got a message out there asking if he's going to make it for today's show. I sent it to him right when the show started. So, hopefully he'll get back with us, letting us know where he is. But in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and start off the show. And guys, the show was an interesting setup as far as what we were going to talk about. Sometimes there are different things that go on in sports that make you think. And I say that because some people will look at certain things and ask certain questions. Should we do this? Should we do that? What do you think we ought to do? But I will tell you guys, it is time in reality for some hard truths in sports. And I picked the 4th of July to talk about this in reality because it is the time where this is Independence Day. This is what the country is all about. This is what you have the right to be who you are. We are independent people. We are allowed to say what we think. And on the 4th of July, it just really magnifies that whole thing. And there's a lot to talk about that as far as that is concerned. And guys, I'm going to start in the NFL because obviously there's a lot of things that we talk about on this show that's NFL and football, set. And I want to get to the latest out there. And if you listen to this show, whether it be just within the last 2 years or for long periods of time, and you can go back to 2013, by the way, when there was a young man that was just having a hard time after having a rookie campaign that was unbelievable. And I say this because one of the things that I have been accused of is not giving guys enough credit, not being in their corner, so to speak. And sometimes, I'll be honest with you, I'm not in a lot of people's corners after they mess up, more than once or more than once. It's not like I have a zero tolerance, but I hate BS. So if you go back following a solid rookie season in 2012, guys, there was a young man that held in 50 catches, scored 5 touchdowns, and then after that season, big-time season as a rookie, one Josh Gordon becomes suspended. So 2013 is when we start off hearing about one Josh Gordon. Why are we talking about 2013, Sonny? You're going, this is 2021. Yes, that is correct. The reason why we're talking about it today is this. Josh Gordon has filed for yet another, I didn't add that in there, but yet another NFL reinstatement from his quote-unquote, and I didn't put those in parentheses, and I should, indefinite suspension, and that is coming from a league source from Adam Schefter. Now, Adam Schefter has become one of these guys. He can't carry Chris Mortensen's jock, but it's about as close as it can get. So, that being said, I heard this story, I think it was Wednesday. I almost hopped on and just did a show on this. This situation with Josh Gordon is ridiculous. So we go back to 2013. He gets suspended for violating the league's substance abuse policy. Not sports enhancement, not, the steroids. No, this is doing, at the time, illegal drugs. And the choice of the illegal drug was marijuana. So looking at this in a perspective of everything going on, marijuana is not a lot for people to be offended by. Hell, even back in 2013, it wasn't. But we also got to get back to the fact, and this is the one that bothers me a lot. We got a lot of Mary Jane to talk about here today. But I'm going to tell you right now, back in 2013, Josh Gordon being under the influence of marijuana, and when I make this statement, I'm going to tell you, if you differ in this fact, it's not an opinion. What I'm going to give you is a fact. You're wrong. If you're on the other side of what I'm going to say, you are wrong. Now, I normally don't set my foot down in concrete and say you're wrong. But you're going to be wrong if you're on the other side of this. So let's talk about the NFL and what it's about. The NFL is a violent sport. The NFL is a sport where you need to play and not be altered. And if you don't know what altered is, put it in Google. It has the answer. And I don't care what kind of drug it is. Straight out, don't care. If you are doing it without a doctor looking over, you are altered, and you are not just putting yourself at risk, you are putting others at risk, especially in the game of football. Now, granted, Josh Gordon's a wide receiver. How much damage could he do to somebody? More than the fact is, how much damage could someone do to him being altered and playing the game of football? So this is not a matter of opinion in reality, talking about a guy who is altered out on the football field under the influence of an, at the time, illegal drug. Now, we can, you and I, straight up, have an opinion about marijuana. My brother and I have both brothers and I have a total different feeling about marijuana and what it is and what it's good for and what it's not. And I will even say I lean a little bit on their side based on what my personal experience with family members who deal with a lot of pain and everything else. I get it. I completely understand it. And I lean a little bit on their side for that. But we're talking about, personal use and things of that sort. And what you do as far as your job, or if you're not even working, then, it's not even really an issue. But what you do for your job, you can't hold that job in a wrong feeling because they may have a rule against marijuana usage in order for you to work for them. And if you do, you're wrong, because that is what they want for their employees not to do. The NFL does not want you to do marijuana. I don't care if it's legal in all 50 states. Right now, I think it's 13. I don't keep up with it. I don't do it. So I don't care. So we ran a little bit on this as I don't do it. I probably won't do it, so I don't care. But I will also say straight out that I have no problem saying that I have a problem in professional sports with marijuana. A complete and utterly big problem with that. And I'm going to tell you straight out, I don't know what people or why people will make someone feel bad, okay, by not doing a lot of things as far as keeping up. By the way, I just got a message, so hold on, because I'm wondering, okay, not today. I can do tomorrow. Okay, well, okay, so maybe tomorrow Cuervo and I will get on. So let me message him. Okay, I'm on air right now. Let me finish up the show. I'll get back with you on maybe doing the show tomorrow. All right, so no Cuervo today. But marijuana in the professional sports, I'm all for them saying no to it. Definitely, because that's what they want. Good, bad, or indifferent, this is a bad thing. So what I will say is that that's a personal opinion, but the NFL says no to it. And the NFL has a right to say they don't want that in their sport. And I'm sick and tired. And I don't care if it's my brothers, my friends, or whatever. I am sick and tired of people throwing their personal beliefs on what someone should do as far as their business is concerned. That's what they want. They take the risk on you. They're paying you. They want you to do this. They don't want you to do that. And I have no problem with that whatsoever. Zero. And I'm tired of people making excuses for it. You know what your job wants you to do. You know what they don't want you to do. So you shouldn't do it. Now, if you run the risk and decide that toke it up one weekend and then you go in for a test on Monday and they let you go. If you're not blaming yourself more so than your employer, then you've got a problem. Yeah, I said it. I don't care. You've got a problem. You know what your bosses say no to and what they say, okay, you can do. Marijuana may not be an illegal drug, but if an employer wants their employees not to be under the influence of that, that is their prerogative. And just to put it out there, if I owned a business, I would feel the same damn way. Dude, I understand. I got my brother is in a lot of pain, and I completely understand it. In fact, he was probably lucky that he didn't get nailed from the state or whatever when he worked. Because my brother is straight out says, I've been doing it for and he has over 30 years. But he also put himself in a position where, I don't know, if they drug test him, there could have been a problem. But there was never really necessarily any need. I don't know. But to say that the NFL should not have a right to say they don't want their players altered, they don't want their players on drugs, they don't want them doing this. The regular people, such as me or you, for us to take, well, that's stupid, it's not even against the law in some states, it's irrelevant. It's irrelevant. And I don't care what you're thinking of marijuana is. I don't give a rip. I don't do it. The one time I did do it, I did it by accident. That brownie was pretty good, though. But I would never do it again. More than the fact that I know how it made me feel. Sure in the hell didn't make me feel good, but that's not everybody. But when you're talking about a professional sport, especially in football, guys get the opportunity to get hurt, and not just by a little, a lot. Major injuries can be caused by someone who's altered. And I'm sorry, I think the NFL should continually ban marijuana. Now, I know what the argument is. Well, Sonny, they make you pop pills. You can get just as high as that. Guess what? That's the way that they're choosing to do it. It's under a doctor's care. I'm going with the doctor. And if you think that it's okay for marijuana to be within professional sports, I'm just going to say it. You're wrong. Period. It's an altering drug. Okay, so let's get to it, okay? The thing let's put it up here. All right. Sha'Carri Richardson tested positive for marijuana approximately a week ago. Her response was, I am human. I take full accountability for my action, and I'm under a lot of pressure after losing my mom, who died less than a week ago before the test, in response to the whole thing, and the world has banished her. That is what I'm seeing all over social media. Now, the other one to the left is Shelby Houlihan, who tested positive for steroids just 2 weeks ago. Her response was she ate a pork burrito the night before, and that is how she got it in her system. And she has been an Olympian known for winning many races. Now, what I got right up here is actually something that was sent to me. In response, nobody says anything. That's not true. Because if I heard it, and I don't do a lot of sports talk listening. If I heard it, someone's talking about it. Simple. Someone's talking about it. And the simple fact of the matter is, it's not there. But Richardson is another one. So I'm just going to play devil's advocate here. The rules are, and she knew what they were. She admitted she knew what they were. She said she did it anyway. She accepts full responsibility for doing it. Why everybody else is, jumping down the Olympics' throats. Oh, it's legal here. It's legal. But it's not a legal substance within the sport that she plays. And I don't care. And this one here was different. Now, she could have gone to a counselor. She could have talked to her friend about her grief. Listen, I am not taking away from her grief. And I'm not necessarily going to say I take away from the fact that she had and toked up a little marijuana based upon everything that was going on. But I am actually suspicious on this one. And I'll talk about my suspicions anyway, but I'll keep it right here to where, this is how she dealt with it. She smoked marijuana. So I guess, and everybody will say, well, Sonny, it's easy for you to say. Well, guys, I lost my mother. I lost my father, and I didn't toke it up. I turned to my wife. I turned to my friends. I even turned to a little bit of family. I didn't go risk my career by smoking marijuana. And at the time, when my dad passed away, if I did that, I would have been fired. I am a guy that takes the drug test all the time. And the excuse my dad died and this is what I did in order would not have flown. Whether or not they believed me or not, it wouldn't matter. And that's what I'm saying in regarding to this young lady. Sha'Carri Richardson had many avenues to deal with her stress. And I'm not taking away from the stress at all. But there are many, many things this young lady can do. And by the way, this young lady has a better resource than any of them, as she is under a doctor's care all the time based on what she does for track and field for the Olympics. They had doctors everywhere. She got to talk to somebody with counselors. So this woman, it wasn't the fact that she didn't have any place to turn. This woman had that opportunity. And she chose to smoke. Now, the parts of me, I'm just going to say it straight out. Parts of me, I'm going to just say right here, if you don't know what your employer does or does not want to do, then you should not be in that profession. She can't even use the excuse because she even comes out and says she knew it was wrong. And again, this woman had more opportunity than you, than me, or anybody else. And also, simple as this, you take all that in account. Do you honestly think that she had to work hard to get it? Okay, so I'm saying whether someone had it or is she a regular participant of this? I'm just going to say straight out, okay? This wasn't her first time. And even if she said it was her first time, I sure in the hell wouldn't have believed her. I don't want to come off rude. I don't want to come off mean. I don't want to come off anything. This is a situation where, and by the way, let's just say this. I'm sure in the hell her mother didn't want her to do this. And it's not fair for everybody else who doesn't do it. And by the way, there's the wife. And we have not talked about this. So it's not like we got together and spoke about this. This is the first time she's hearing about it. She makes almost the same. Illegal is illegal. And taking full accountability doesn't make it less than legal. That's like I killed the guy. I take full responsibility. Well, full responsibility is you go to jail. The fact that she knew the requirements of her sport, this is not a surprise. Disqualification is the only warranted action in this case. I completely agree with her. It doesn't make it any less legal. And no one that does it their first time while they're in Olympic training. And that is simple. Lovely Lois out there telling you exactly, and I fully agree with it. So all this, it's too bad for her. You're just being mean to her. It's okay because, other people do it. We can't punish her. No. This is the time to punish her. This is the time to make a statement. This is the time to set the rules to what they want. Because if they let her get away with it and let her do it and let her run and qualify, they might as well just throw the rule book out the frickin' window. I am sick and tired of that. Just because she is who she is. Now, listen, again, it was a tragedy. I completely understand. And I completely understand her sorrow. And I have even claimed it myself. I don't have a lot of empathy for people. I actually have empathy for this young woman. I get it. And there's another one. It sets a precedent of what is fair. Regardless, they had to disqualify her. And if they didn't, they would have been wrong. And by the way, if you're on the other side of this to say, let her run, you're wrong too. Yeah, I said it. You're wrong too. And I guess it's where I come from. I was in a position at my last in indoor football. And I'm telling you right now, if this came down in front of me, it's not even a question. That's done. That's illegal. You're disqualified. I don't care if you're a superstar for your football team. I don't care if you're this. You broke the rules. The consequences have to apply to everybody or they're useless. And that's the point. People like regular folks don't get it, won't understand it, because, they don't see anything wrong with marijuana. Listen, I'm going to tell you right now, marijuana has killed a lot of people in this world. Regardless of what you think, it's ruined families. Regardless of what you think, it has tore, generations up. Regardless of what you think. Now, has some people done it to where it didn't do that? Yes. Maybe they think the same and they don't see any problem with it. Yes. But I'm going to tell you right now, especially in Josh Gordon. Okay, and this is what makes me even more mad about the whole thing. We go back to Josh Gordon. This is not the first time he'd been suspended by the NFL. It's not the second time. It's not the third time. It's not the fourth time. This was the fifth time. Never mind other rules that he broke where he was suspended by the NFL 2 times. And then the Cleveland Browns suspended him for breaking rules of the team. Who's at fault? Oh, it's the NFL. It's the Cleveland Browns. It's the Seattle Seahawks. No, this is Josh Gordon's fault, and my heart pumps purple piss for him, especially Josh Gordon. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 times for the league substance abuse policy. 5 times. Suspended 2 other times, one for a DUI and the other, I forget what it is. And then the Cleveland Browns suspended him for breaking the rules. This is a guy, first of all, hasn't hit rock bottom, or second of all, doesn't see it as a problem. Third of all, this is the reason why he should never play football ever again. Period. He puts himself out on the football field altered, not by a little, but by a lot, especially in the game of football. Never mind your other sports. So you can look at it on a regular person way, but you would be wrong because of their responsibility to the game and the others that play it. they should not be allowed to break those rules. Those rules are not in place to say, well, no, you really shouldn't do that. Now, will the NFL change their feeling about it in the offseason and change it there? I don't know. I don't care. As of right now, this is what the rules are. This is the rules they'll follow, and you get your ass suspended when you do it. And I don't care. I don't care. And here's another thing. If Patrick Mahomes did this, he needs to be suspended too. Everybody, if the rules are not the same for everybody, they're useless. Props to the Olympic Committee. Props to the NFL for making this exactly what it is. It's a breaking of the rules that they don't want. They didn't give Josh Gordon just not one, not two, not three, not four, but 5 times. Never mind the DUI. Never mind. Oh, the other one was sports enhancing drugs. Mark that. I just popped in my head. So that was the other one. Total amount of suspended, breaking the rules 8 times. Let me ask you a question. You and your job, you think you could break your rules 8 times and not get fired? And if you can, what a great job you got. And here's, you know what? And I got to give it to Lois. She's absolutely right. She's representing the entire country. The governing Olympic boards has set specific standards, and I love this, for fair competition for all Olympians. That is the reason why the other chick that got busted for the illegal, the other one in this picture, Shelby Houlihan, positive for steroids, yeah, but she got it in a burrito. First of all, I don't believe that at all. And second of all, not to be rude or, accusatory, this is not the first time Sha'Carri Richardson ever done marijuana. So I'm not falling for it. I've been naive for years, but I'm just not that naive anymore. The NFL is, and it's right. If they let it go, this is going to continue on. People will continue doing it. And it just goes to show that rules don't have to be taken seriously. And not only that, if they let them go back, the fact, not that it's even taken seriously, why even have them in place? Guys should have been gone a long time ago. Josh Gordon should not have played football after, I guess if you want to give him a break, after the third time. Third time you're banned. You're done, And here's another thing. Teams that go ahead and want this guy to play on this team, you're part of the problem, by the way. You don't even stand behind the rules of the NFL by going ahead and bringing this guy on. Maybe after the first time, okay. Maybe after the second time, okay. I think that's one too many. But third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and people still bring this guy on. So to call, to call it a big surprise that if he got suspended again, this guy shouldn't even be around on the football. So the NFL, doing the right thing, the NFL is actually taking under consideration to bring Josh Gordon back. And I just got to say, I'm just putting it up there. You just got to stop it. NFL, you have to stop it. Regular fans that don't understand sports in a deep measurement as far as, rules or drugs or any of that, you got to stop it too. These are serious things. And when you don't take them seriously, you get the Josh Gordons of the world. Again, I actually have empathy for the young lady who lost her mother. And I know I lack a lot in that. But some people think I lack empathy. I should let her run. Oh, hell no. If I was on that board, I would say, I don't care. I don't care what her excuse is. because it's not because you don't care about the person. You care about the legitimacy of your sport, in that you take it seriously. And once you stop, it doesn't matter, which is the reason why champions indoor football will go down, because they don't follow those rules. Yes, that's right. I said it. I don't care. I don't care if I burn a bridge, but that's exactly what's going on in champions indoor football. They let everybody get away with everybody, or you appeal everything instead of taking responsibility for it. It's pathetic. And I don't care, because I'm tired of these kind of things. These things get people getting away with. So when a guy gets suspended or gets a fine for doing stuff that he's not supposed to do, you don't fight back on it. You blame the player, because the player knows the rules. The coaches know the rules. The owners know the rules. The only people they can look at is themselves. And when they don't, they're making excuses. And those excuses are trying to pawn off, oh, the rules don't matter. And until that mentality changes, whether it's the NFL, CIF, the Olympics, and all these other, and by the way, the Olympics did it right. The NFL not doing it right, because after 8 times, they're going to bring him back. The NFL has a lot of work to do here, and they need to work on it hard. And yes, some people have to be the example. And you don't want to do that to them. No, you do. I'm telling you right now, straight out. If I was on the Olympics and the NFL on those levels, and they asked me to come back in,
so, Jim.
It's not going to happen under my watch. Now, that was my suggestion, but never was heard. But it is what it is. But when someone tries to do the right thing, all they are doing is getting criticized, talk behind the back, or he doesn't know what he's talking about. But no, he actually knows what he's talking about, because guess what? It's in the rule book. So he knows exactly what he's talking about. You break the rules, this is what happens. One of the biggest problems in sports. And we all want to know why fans are sick and tired of athletes. This is why. And you say whatever you want. This is Hard Truth. It's Sunday, by the way. Cuervo's not going to be with us. Maybe we'll do a show. We'll cover this and get his opinion. I like to get the young people's side of things sometimes. And sometimes but it's lovely Lois is on it again. This is the reason why LeBron James does what he does. This is the reason why he thinks everything. Speaking of LeBron James, we were last week missed a complete subject on LeBron James that we did not talk about. Oh, but I had it up on my screen. They didn't want to listen to me. They didn't want to listen to me about the start of the season. And he gets diarrhea of the mouth. This is his Twitter, by the way. And I took all 3 of them because you only get so many. I just put them in one tweet. Oh, it's a mess up of the game. It's the reason why guys are down. And out of this whole thing, Lois said it, the entitlement, okay? Sorry, fans. Wish you guys were seeing all your favorite guys right now. And by the way, if you ask me, this is what it should have been done. Listen, LeBron James, as great player as he is, might be the best player today in basketball. Listen, just because you are that doesn't mean you get to make the rules. That I'm tired of too. You're not in a position, you play basketball. Now, granted, you want to try to get something changed, do it through the proper. But the simple fact is, just because you don't like the rules, you don't like the start of the season, you don't like how they handle COVID, you don't like to have it. Oh, other guys are getting hurt. But here's what I'm going to say. LeBron James, you're a hypocrite, by the way, just to let you know, because if you won the championship, you wouldn't be talking crap like that. Instead, you get exited in the first round by the Phoenix Suns. which should be an embarrassment to your basketball team in reality, because the only one on there that's worth a damn nickel that has any experience is Chris Paul. And not only that, Chris Paul's taking these young guys under his wing, and they're going to be in the championship, and they'll probably win the NBA Finals this year. You can discredit it all day long, but your guys that were hurt, you guys didn't do it because the NBA is, oh God, the NBA is the lightest as far as, you go back into the 90s, conditioning and everything. The reason why they played so good, the reason why they played so hard, the reason why it was a physical game is because they put the time and effort and busting their ass to be the best and not just get, oh, I'll get 4 other great players on my team to win a championship. No, there was one, maybe 2, but usually only one who wanted to beat the hell out of the other guy to prove that he was the best in the world, which is the reason why Michael Jordan is the best basketball player to play all the time. He didn't say, I need this guy, I need this guy. He just took what he got and made them better by showing what he did day after day, practice after practice, and doing everything that he needs to do to make himself better. And, conditioning and practice. Exactly.
We're talking about practice.
Practice. And the guy took it seriously every single time. Go on YouTube, see the pickup game on the Olympic game, and you tell me that even in the pickup game that Michael Jordan wasn't trying to be the best. And he hated the fact he had all these guys on this team that were the best at that time. So, where we are now, lots of other things to talk about in the show. So what we're going to do, because Sonny needs some coffee, I'm going to warm up my coffee here, and then I'm going to go ahead and we're going to talk about some other things that are going on. This is a show where we're going to come with you with the hard truth today. Lots of things that we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the Carolina Panthers and their new stadium once. We're going to talk a little bit about the NBA and hiring maybe of a basketball coach that's a female. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about baseball next, by the way. That's up on it. And we're going to talk about a pitcher getting hit with the first pitch of the game and they threw him out. Right or wrong. We'll talk about Reggie Bush, by the way. And if those that don't know the history on Reggie Bush, I'll help you with that. And we'll also talk to a woman that has been on this show before, that is a class act, and that has put it down and made some accusations of probably truth based upon timing and everything else and what was being said. And we'll talk little Rachel Nichols. That's right. She's been on this show before. And Leslie Visser was a great Hall of Fame football. This woman is about as close to Leslie Visser as you're going to get, by the way. And we had her on the show many years ago. But we're gonna talk about Rachel Nichols. She had some interesting things happen to her this weekend as far as professionalism and things of that sort. So we're gonna do this. We're gonna take the quick break here on the Couch Potato Sports Show, and when we come back, we'll knock it out. We'll talk more sports here on. That being said, our Sunday morning/afternoon tradition continues on in our 12th year. We'll be right back.
This is Sonny Clark, radio voice of your Rowlett Eagles, and you know about RowlettFood.com. Do you want to have dinner delivered but you don't want to use Uber Eats? Contact someone locally that can do the same thing at a better price and faster. All you have to do is pick a restaurant on the list at the website, tell us what you'd like to order, then check out, and you'll have your food within 25 to 45 minutes, depending on distance. Check out RowlettFoods.com for your next meal at Raising Cane's, Golden Pie, Ponchos and Lefty, and more. Give us a call at 972-408-8002 or check us out on the web at RowlettFood.com. This is Sonny Clark, radio voice of your Rowlett Eagles, letting you know about Landon Huey and 19 Ministries.
One of the things we want to do is we have this idea, the name that's kind of sticking right now is Rowlett Revival. And we know that there are a lot of hurting and broken people across the city. Out of a population of 60,000, there's close to 40,000 that aren't saved. And we want to do like a Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday where we'll bring in a guest speaker, and he's just going to share the love of Christ, and we want to connect people in the city up with churches. and where they can find a healthy church family and find people that believe in them and find a God that loves them. Jesus came for a broken world, and man, he loves and cares for everybody in the city. And so we're excited about that. We're working through details right now, but our vision is to see God's going to reach a lot of people.
So make sure you contact Landon Huey at 19 Ministries at 972-835-8665, or check them out on the web at 19ministries.org or uniterowlett.org. This is Sonny Clark, radio voice of your Rowlett Eagles, asking, are you looking for a new home? Want to know what your house could sell for in today's market? Then you need to contact Realtor Jeremy Morgan with Ray Hubbard Real Estate Group at Keller Williams Rockwall. Whether you're buying, selling, leasing, or investing, he can help you get where you need to be. Visit RayHubbardRealEstateGroup.com or make an appointment today by calling 214-236-2914. That's 214-236-2914. Jeremy Morgan with Ray Hubbard Real Estate Group, Keller Williams Rockwall. Find out how Merchant Masters DFW, specializing in small business companies, can help you save money and protect your customers' information with our credit card processing and point-of-sale systems. In 95% of our cases, our services save our clients money. So, what makes Merchant Masters DFW different from all the others? It's an integrity-first approach to each client we work with, so you receive the very best, including financial savings, lowest possible rates, superior technology, and improved support. So claim your free audit at merchantmastersdfw.com or contact John Beeman at 262-339-5470 for more information. That's 262-339-5470. Merchant Masters DFW, different from all the rest.
Ever want to know why Bill and I look so great on our broadcast? Check out K West Designs on Facebook to find out why. Check out all the samples that Kelly has got up so you can see, especially if you have that special occasion that needs something original, something designed, something that just says, this is our moment. Check out K West Designs on Facebook or give her a call at 469-601-5856. That's 469-601-5856. Again, K West Designs. Make yourself look original or different or just something just for you. K West Designs. Into the Couch Potato Sports Show in our 12th year. Thanks for giving us a listen and a little look. I appreciate that. It's Sunday and our regular show. Normally, again, during football season, starting week number 1 of the NFL, we kick it off at 9 a.m. We take it up to noon, the first game of the day. And then usually what we have found that Sunday afternoon works better for Cuervo's schedule in the offseason. So instead of having it at 9 or even at noon on Sundays in the offseason, we've kind of moved it to 3:30 in the afternoon. Not going to be able to join us today, but that's another thing. Maybe we'll come on and talk a little bit about what we're talking about to get his points on what he thinks about this whole thing tomorrow. Maybe. We'll just see if he's able to break away. It is the 4th of July. Hope everybody's having a great day. I have had brats with cheese in them. I have had macaroni salad, and I have had coleslaw. It doesn't get much better than that. that being said, hope everybody is having a wonderful holiday. I wanted to get back into some of the things because I've said this before, and I'll say it again about baseball. Baseball is a joke right now. Baseball, and by the way, baseball having problems with hit players. And it has taken the step when the Houston Astros won the World Series by quote-unquote cheating. So, and it has carried on, by the way. It has carried on to where the problem is when real mistakes happen, especially pitchers to batters. And this is probably the only place I will come up with this. But when a guy gets hit on the first pitch, and I'm talking about a young man from the Braves who got hit by the same team, the umpires decided that they would necessarily go rogue. Now, I don't know if it's rogue or not. What they did is they decided to look at things with a little bit of common sense. Okay? I'm going to put this up. This was the pitch. The first pitch that Atlanta Braves batter got, Acuna, which, by the way, has ripped up the Florida Marlins, or they're called the Miami Marlins now, have ripped them up. And not only that, he's been hit 5 times previous to the first pitch of the game the other day. And I'm going to tell you right now, this kind of crap has got to stop. Because, and this is the bad thing about baseball, the quote-unquote unwritten rules. What needs to happen, and listen, this is coming from an old school guy, so you understand that this is not the norm for me. But if he's a real sportsman and he throws and hits someone, his first reaction, first of all, should be shock. Shock. And then second of all, walking off the mound, going up to the batter and say, listen, dude, God, I'm sorry, and shake the guy's hand. Now, the unwritten rules of baseball won't allow that to happen because the unwritten rules of baseball are based upon second grade elementary BS that has been going through baseball through 30 to 40 years. You got to get revenge. If a guy hits a home run of you, pluck him. You know, all these stupid unwritten rules of baseball that have got to go away because now when you're throwing the ball 90 mile an hour, 100 mile an hour, and this game is bailing at somebody's head, that's where the unwritten rules have got to be taken away. And the fact these umpires said, you know what, this happened many times. We're not going to allow this to happen. You're out of here. First pitch guy out. I love it. This is where the umpires are doing their job, more so than a lot of people going, oh, they're sticking their nose into something. No. Because you hear it all the time in baseball. Oh, you got to let the players police themselves. Well, they're not good at it. And especially in this case, they're really not good at it. Now, the idea, don't misunderstand Sonny Clark. I understand what the high and tight is all about. Cuervo, when he gets his haircut, I call it the high and tight because it's high and tight. It's high and inside and leaves the, Anyway, I understand what the high and tight's all about. I get it. I understand it, and it's a strategy. But if you can't control that strategy, you should not be allowed to have that strategy or go ahead and implement it in a game. The simple fact of the matter is this guy's getting hit all the time. And 5 times previous by the Marlins because he tears them up. The umpires did the right thing here. Now, I'm normally not into umpires. Back in the day, and I think I know what's happening. I'm getting older, which my wife has a lot of fun calling me old, but I'm getting older. And I'm turning into Dick Vermeil. And folks that don't understand my reference to Dick Vermeil is that he was known as a hard ass through his whole coaching career. And towards the end of his career, he's got sensitive. And I think I'm becoming sensitive at my older age. I think, in reality, I don't know what's going on with me. Because back in the day, I would say, yeah, let the players police themselves. But the problem is now, guys, is that they're not very good at it. Whenever you expect something like that to happen, it always goes sideways. And by the way, first of all, I get where the unwritten rules were good at the time because it was the sign of the times. Things are different today, and I have accepted that, so much so that I think they should throw the unwritten rules of baseball out of baseball and get back to, first of all, is it safe? Because half the crap that they do on the quote-unquote unwritten rules are not safe. A guy clocks a 400-foot home run on you, and just to get plunked the next time he goes up, that's crap. I'm sorry, that's crap. Not only that, plunking them can hurt them. I don't know how many times. I mean, all you got to do, guys, just to give you an idea, all you got to do is see one of those shots back to the pitcher after he threw a 100-mile-an-hour fastball and the batter, makes a connection and it lands right up on the pitcher's face. It's going slower than what it was pitched, but it's coming off the bat that quick and he can't react, and what damage it does. It's the same thing when a pitcher are throwing at batters. This kind of crap has to stop. The fact that someone can get hurt, and not only that, not hurt a little. A broken finger here. No, we're talking about broken jaws, guys that lose their livelihood. And I remember in the day when I played baseball on a high school team. I played baseball in high school. Not very long. I just wasn't that good. But I remember a lot of things while sitting in the dugout and listening to what guys do or what they should not do when they're in the dugout. On the football field, when I played, there was a lot of things that happened on the football field that should not be allowed today, and it still happens. So we're talking about a revelation of making sure that players are safe. Different years, though, going back, we aren't talking about guys that are making millions of dollars. These are just regular guys, making a modest living playing sports. Now it's out of hand. I mean, your seventh player on your basketball squad makes, $8-9 million, and I'm not even joking. That's a real number. It's not fake. A lot of them just sitting at bench warmers making $8-9 million a year. It's pathetic. But that's what sports are now. But you can't be allowed to do this. And this goes back to the Houston Astros winning the World Series by quote-unquote cheating. Of course, after the point they won the World Series, they caught them cheating. And, so everybody thinks that they need to get their revenge on the Astros. And I'm telling you right now, it's just not. And granted, they were cheating, and I completely get it. But you don't plunk the guy in the head with a 100-mile-an-hour fastball for revenge because they cheated to win the World Series, or they cheated you out of your money because you didn't win the World Series because, you were cheating too, but you just didn't get caught. But you want to call them out and be hypocritical about, he cheated. And that's where I come in and say, that's where I'm calling BS. They all cheat in baseball. They all cheat in football. It's just whether or not you're going to get caught. Now, whether or not you should do it or not, that's a moral thing. And whether or not they're going to be moral about it, great. If they don't want to be moral about it, that's up to them. I'm still going to watch the games, and I'm going to still call it out, what I call crap when it's crap. And this dude getting plunked 5 times by the Miami Marlins is pathetic. The fact that they allowed it that many times, this time, now the umpires are getting criticized. Give me a break. These guys did their job, and and Don Mattingly, by the way, listen, you are so into the unwritten rules of baseball, you know you're wrong. But you have to go out and defend your guy. And a sign of weakness, I guess, if you don't want to be that way. But Don Mattingly knows this guy was wrong. He says he didn't do it on purpose, and we all know he did. Instead of having the stones to stand up and say, yeah, we did it and we shouldn't have done it and we need to get this out of baseball, you defended it. You defended the guy throwing the ball at the guy. Right at his elbow, by the way. He's been hit on his elbow by 3 Miami Marlins. No, mark that. This guy who hit him had hit him twice before that. So this is the 3rd time. Of course he did it on purpose. And if it's a high and tight that gets out of the way, then he walks off of that thing, walks up to the guy and said, listen, dude, I am pitching the inside because that's the strategy. I didn't do it on purpose. If he would have done that, first of all, he probably wouldn't have been thrown out of the game. Second of all, he might have got a knuckle sandwich, which he probably deserved because he did it on purpose. So that's the reason why, and this is Sonny's opinion. Believe me, I've been known to be wrong on many occasions, but the fact that it wasn't a shock that he hit him, and the fact that he didn't react when he hit him, the fact that he didn't go up and say, listen, dude, that one got away from me. I'm sorry. I'm pitching you tight. I'm pitching you high and tight. That one got away with. If that, I would buy this guy's bull malarkey, but I don't buy it. And I think he did it on purpose. And I think he should forget about being thrown out of the game. This guy needs to be suspended. Simple as that. You pop this guy out for 3 starts and then see if he can behave like an adult. Because you're playing a child's game as adults, so let's be adult about it. Don't be a child. And that's what's going on in Major League Baseball, by the way, especially the unwritten rules. Now, a guy clocks a 400-foot home run off a pitcher, and he shows him up. Absolutely, that's a problem. And I can get how the pitcher doesn't like the fact that he's getting shown up. But get him out next time. That's how you show it. You strike him out next time, or you get him to ground into a double play. That's how you get your revenge on him, instead of throwing at him. How childish is that? It's pathetic. And if that rule doesn't change, sooner or later, someone's going to get hurt. Because that's going to hit somebody in the wrong way. It's going to cause major damage, and it could be the end of a career. You say whatever you want, but plunking a guy just to plunk a guy, that's bull crap. And it needs to stop. And Major League Baseball needs to have the stones to stand up to it. And how do you start? You suspend the guy that threw the first pitch at the guy that he had hit 5 times before, or the team that hit him 5 times before, and you find him, get money out of his pocket. That'll stop it. But no, we can't do that. That just might hurt his feelings. Listen, consequences to every action, and I don't care if it's sports or raising your children. And when you lack that consequence for the action, expect to happen again. And that's what the unwritten rules of baseball are. Until that changes, that's a problem. Until they change what the mentality of how the game is played on a regular basis, it's got to stop. And you can say whatever you want about it. You can say, well, you know, it really isn't that much of a big deal. But you tell that to the guy you plunked. Tell that to the guy that you put out of baseball. Okay? So, with it being, you know, it's truth time here. It's hard truth time here. Hard truth Sunday. He needs to be suspended and he needs to be fined. Simple as that. And it will go away. Sooner or later, it'll go away. You find him, suspend him enough, That'll be the end of it. Begrudgingly, yes. And why is it? Lois made the statement. Bang. The entitlement. And by the way, as old school as I am, as a guy who participated in some of this crap when I played in high school in football. Let me rephrase that. When I played in football, I didn't participate, but I knew of the things that were going on. That's the better way. I didn't participate in it because I didn't play much, and I was a kicker, and I got nailed, and I said, that hurt too much. I ain't doing it no more. So, but as far as knowing the sports, knowing what guys do, they need to take responsibility for their own actions. And Don Mattingly going out there and arguing on this, that was stupid too. He's making excuses for his guy. And that's just not the right thing. It's definitely not setting the right example for the young guys that are coming in and playing this game. When you hit a guy, that's a problem. Now, we go back in time, go back to Reggie Bush days. This is going back to rules and regulations. The entitlement process. And listen, and Reggie Bush is asking for all of it. Little history lesson on Reggie Bush. Okay? This guy accepted $300,000 to play college football, and it was totally and strictly against the rules. Back in the day. I forget when his rookie deal was, what year it was. It didn't matter. They caught him. They said, we're taking the Heisman and all your records and throwing them out the window. Why did they do that? Because he broke the rules. And if they didn't do it, it would run rapid, especially in the Reggie Bush thing. Now, this is what Reggie Bush has said. Because of this new quote-unquote lifting, they're going to start paying paying players and stuff like that in college, or give them walking. Wow, they're doing. I don't care. I haven't dove into it. But now Reggie Bush is pissed off because the rules that applied to him are different now, and he wants those rules to go back and be lifted against him. And it's ridiculous. Over the last month, on multiple occasions, my team, as well as Reggie Bush, reached out both to the NCAA, the Heisman Trust, in regard to the reinstatement of his college records, as well as the Heisman. We left multiple messages for Michael Cranford, the president of the Heisman Trust, but instead received a call from Robert Whalen, and he is the executive director, who stated that Mr. Cranford would not be calling him back, and that calling him back in any event. They could not help us. We reached out again to the NCAA on multiple occasions and received no help and got no responses at all. Why do you think you should get responses? Because you broke the rules back when you played college, accepted money that no one else got, or maybe a lot got, but you got caught, but a lot of many other players, not in a USC uniform, but many that didn't get paid $300,000 to play. And then goes on and says, it's my strong belief that I won the Heisman Trophy solely due to my hard work, dedication on the football field, and it's also my firm belief that my records should be reinstated. I got news for you, Reggie. You're not even you're so wrong that you are blinded by your entitlement. You are blinded by it. You got busted accepting $300,000, which, by the way, was actually really estimated to be close to $1.5 million. By the way, I remember back in the day. I don't think we're doing this show. I think it happened before, but if not, we did talk about it. It's a long time ago. But I'm telling you right now, he thinks his entitlement because they're going to pay players that all this should be. No, you broke Reggie Bush. You broke the rules. And the consequences were you lost the Heisman, you lost your records, you lost all that. Now, granted, did you do it on the football field? Yes. Did you getting paid really have anything to do with your talent? No. You went on to make millions of dollars in the NFL. So my heart pumps purple piss for Reggie Bush as far as his records in college. Now, what I have an opinion about college football that might be unrealistic, but I don't think they should be paid. They're getting the education, room and board, and anything that they ever need. Oh, yeah, but we're always hungry. Yeah, all that crap, I don't want to hear it. Full ride scholarships. College costing, $60,000, $80,000 a year for 4 years. Mark it up, you got paid. You didn't pay for those classes. And not only that, hell, half the time you probably didn't even take the damn test. You had someone else do it because you're dumb as rocks, because most athletes are. Yeah, I said it. Yeah, I believe it. Yeah, I experienced it. And yeah, I'm smarter than most of them with their quote-unquote college degrees. So don't give me this crap. Reggie Bush, come on. You accepted $300,000. Everybody else didn't get the money or didn't get as much. Estimates suggest that Reggie Bush would make in between $4 to $6 million annually with the new rules that they set up in the NIL. Yet the NCAA took away his Heisman Trophy because he accepted $300,000. And I'm telling you, that number is between $1 and $1.5 million. I'm not buying the number. They just brought it down, whatever the case may be, under the table, while USC made millions of dollars off of his success. Yes, because if you want to make it an employer thing, he got room and board, his education, everything else all paid for. That's what you got paid. And no, it's not time to return his trophy. It's a pathetic excuse for entitlement for players, and I'm tired of it. I'm calling everybody out on it anymore. You are not the sun, and everything revolves around you. Reggie Bush, you broke the rules. That's what ended up happening. Now, listen. We can go back to Pete Rose and talk about him. He gambled. They made the decision. So, do I think that Pete Rose should be in the Hall of Fame? Yes. Is he? No. Do I have a problem with him not being in the Hall of Fame? No. You want to know why? Why I don't have a problem with Pete Rose? Because I, as a baseball scholar, I know how great Pete Rose is. I know what he put out on the football field or baseball field. Charlie Hustle. I know exactly. I don't need someone to say he's a Hall of Famer. I already know he is. And he broke the rules, his consequences. He can't officially be in, but there's not a person in the world that says that he's not a Hall of Famer. So why does he need it? But he broke the rules. So do I think that he actually should? No. That was the rules. He broke them. That was the decision they made. Sooner or later, will someone change that? I don't know. But I'm even going back to old school days of Pete Rose. No, he should not be allowed. Just because he's Pete Rose? Just because he's one of the greatest baseball players to ever play? No. And I don't care who you are. By the way, Patrick Mahomes, I lost a lot of respect for him because my wife has told me this a lot, and sometimes I listen, sometimes I don't. But sometimes you just don't need to put your opinion out on something. And Patrick Mahomes made the opinion about the young lady running the track, saying that she should be around the line. That was probably something he probably shouldn't have said. Now, granted, he's almost got $1 billion, so I guess no matter if he plays another day, it doesn't really affect him. But making excuses for people, I'm in sports, it's becoming way too much. Way too much. And whether or not that'll change, I don't know. There's some other hard truths that are going on. And it's Hard Truth Sunday, by the way. And I want to go to the Carolina Panthers. So hard truth coming from Sonny. This will be an opinion more so than what I think is fact. But the Carolina Panthers, they want a new stadium. And the owner says, I'm not building the stadium alone. David Temper wants help funding a new Panthers stadium. Because he owns a football team. There's some entitlement. A guy that owns a billion dollar football team. He wants, I ain't building a new stadium unless I get help. Now, is it good business? Maybe, but it's almost pathetic. By the way, Carolina Panther fans, I don't necessarily know if they want a new stadium. The fans. Because I don't think the NFL fan is all that stupid half the time. They know already if they go build a new stadium, that ticket prices are going to go through the roof. Through the roof. Literally, the new one that they'll build in their new building. And they won't be able to go to the games anymore. You want to talk a blue-collar town? That is Carolina. Where the Carolina Panthers, these are blue-collar guys. And listen, the NFL and NFL teams are all about corporate money. Let's be honest. They don't care about the fans. They never have for the last 15 years. It's all about corp. Forget the fans. And if fans want to go, they're going to pay our outstanding pay. And by the way, fans do it. They throw their money away. I'll give you an example. Over here at the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys, just an example of the stupidity of today's fans. Or just throw your money away. Well, why don't you just give me one? Why don't you give me the money that you go pay for the Dallas Cowboys for one day, and I'll make it stretch. Because when parking from 3 blocks away is $50, that right there gets me to stop immediately. Listen, I love NFL football. I ain't paying $50 just to park. Never mind the astronomical prices for the tickets to get in. Now, I don't care if it's my team, the Jacksonville Jaguars, any football team. There is nobody. If Walter Payton was alive, I might go to a Chicago. I might pay the money. He's the only one that I think is worth that kind of money. There's nobody in the NFL today that I would pay that. That's $50 parking. Listen, dude, you know how many tickets I can buy to an indoor football game that I love probably better than the NFL? I could probably get 5 games. The NFL is ridiculous. Big time ridiculous. And right now, Todd, you're right. Especially in Carolina, they don't need a new stadium. By the way, if you're going to build a stadium, you need a guy that can put asses in seats. Right now, Christian McCaffrey is a bad man. But he's no Cam Newton when it comes to popularity. He's not. You need that guy to sell that ticket. And right now, there's nobody on that Panthers roster that can sell a ticket for the new stadium that's going to cost billions to build. It's going to be at least $3 billion. And the owner don't want to pay for it. He wants other people to pay for it. Well, if that works for you, fantastic. I don't see it happening. I don't know where they listen. I don't even think corporate money is going to be there for the Carolina Panthers. They don't have a stud on that roster that makes that work. Yeah, we got to build that for that guy. Dallas Cowboys, totally different story. You look over in LA, they got the Rams and the Chargers in there, so they split the bill. The Giants split the bill with the Jets. So, but for them to go ahead and say, yeah, we're going to get help or we're not going to build it, fans should be ecstatic about that because they can still go to the damn game. I can't even tell you what the average ticket to an NFL football game is. Not what they advertise. I mean, what someone actually pays for a freaking ticket. Even the nosebleed, listen, even the standing room only is $50 at the Dallas Cowboys Stadium on each end. It's $50 to stand. Never mind sit. The cheapest ticket I have heard of from the Dallas Cowboys that I've heard of is $350. I can go to a whole season of 2 or 3 different indoor football teams. There's absolutely no way. But I'm a little bit more conscious with my money, especially when I can just sit right back here with, this is a green screen. Everybody knows it. But behind there is a nice chair. And across from the chair is a 50-inch TV where I watch NFL Red Zone each and every Sunday. And I get to eat what I want without paying stadium prices. And I enjoy every Sunday, 7 hours Red Zone. And I can be, I'm happy as a pig in slop. I don't know where they get I do not know where they get enough corporate money or assistance from the city or who else would throw in. But I'm telling you right now, Panther fans better hope that they don't build that stadium. They'll never go see a game. Kids in the stands where Cam Newton threw the ball up to those kids ain't going to be sitting down there on that front row. They won't be able to get into it. And that's one of the problems with sports today. It's one of the reasons why I love minor league sports. I walk in, I throw a $10 bill down, I'm getting in the building somehow. Not only that, probably enjoying myself more. But it is what it is. And the NFL is what it is. But I don't think this is going to work in Carolina where they think they're going to get their money. Or someone else to pay for it. Or how much does he want someone to pay? I don't know what that number is. But it's a big number. Because he wouldn't put it out there. Because if he needed small money, he'd get it and be done with it. No, he needs a lot of money. Or in his mind, he needs a lot of money. But I think it will kill the Carolina Panthers. That field's open. They're not indoors, they're outdoors, which is great. You see kids everywhere. I mean, your families can go out there on a reasonable ticket. But as soon as they build that building or break ground, that's the end of all that. And that is one of my problems with the NFL. I love the game. I love the sport. I'll watch it each and every week. Doesn't cost me anything just to clip on TV and enjoy 7 hours of football every Sunday. Doesn't cost me anything except my time. And I'm going to do it anyway. NFL's got a lot of work to do. A lot of work to do. So that being said, of course, that's the name of this show. It's Hard Truth Time, Hard Truth Sunday, where I talked about the young lady and the mother smoking marijuana and getting kicked out of the Olympics. The woman who had the burrito and tested positive for steroids. Now, that's a new one. That's a new one, by the way. I've never heard of a burrito having steroids in it. So that one's just a stupid excuse. Listen, I get why she did it. Smoked a little marijuana, wanted to relax her mind. I get it. I completely understand. She was in the wrong. She should be suspended. She should not be allowed to run. Neither should the woman with the steroids and the burrito. What a great stupid ass story. If anybody ever bought that, that would just show how dumb they are. But she running across. If she actually thinks people believe her, she's wrong. I'm not that stupid enough to believe it. I don't care. Now, I'm going to go, hard truth time before we go into a break again. Hard truth time. And I'm going to the NBA. LeBron James is a problem for the NBA. Is it hard truth Sunday? LeBron James is going to kill the NBA. Sonny, what are you talking about? Well, because he thinks he's E.F. Hutton. When he talks, he thinks people listen. And here's the problem. People are listening to him. That's the problem. And I put it up there, and this was 3 tweets. I just put it in one. They didn't want to listen to me about the start of the season. I knew exactly what would happen. I only wanted to protect the well-beings of the players, which ultimately protect and benefit our game. These injuries isn't just a part of the game. It's lack of pure rim rest before starting back up. 8, possibly 9 all-stars that have missed playoff games, most in league history. He had to throw that in there to make him sound smart. This is the best time of the year for our league and fans, but missing a ton of our favorite players, it's insane. If there's one person that knows about the body and how it works all year round, it's me. Oh, Lord forbid. Okay, yeah, all right. You know about how it is, but you have your injuries too. But it's lack of rest. Bull crap. I'm going to call him bull crap on that. That guy take day off whenever he wants. I speak for in the hypocrisy of this next line. I speak for the health of all our players, and I hate to see this many injuries this time of the year. Sorry, fans. Wish your guys you were seeing were your favorite guys right now. Really? You really? I listen. LeBron James, you've got because if you would win this championship, you wouldn't be talking right now. If you won the championship, this wouldn't even be an issue at all. He doesn't care. He only cares that he didn't win it. I mean, you heard the crybaby bullshit that last year about not winning the MVP. First of all, not winning it or not getting enough vote. I only got 8 votes for MVP. Please spare me, LeBron James. Spare me with your hypocrisy. Spare me with your entitlement. Spare me with my shit don't stink. Spare me with all this other crap that you think's your God's gift to basketball. Because right now, right today, you can't even lick the sweat off of Kobe's jock right now. Kobe Bryant makes you look like a 3rd grader. And when I moved you ahead of Larry Bird, it was a mistake. So I just bring your ass right back there. You're behind Larry Bird. You're number 6 of all time, and you probably should drop because of your attitude and what you personally are doing to the NBA. First of all, the NBA is almost an unwatchable product. Okay, that's number 1. Second, when you think that your opinion actually means something, and if they don't listen to you, it's their mistake? Really? I only know what you right now. The audacity of this guy to think that he knows best for everybody. Listen, on this show, I'm just going to do one. Keeping it real. Every time. And this right here is another thing. Wrap all these things up in one. You think that's good for basketball? It's not good for basketball. Not one bit. Basketball right now. I don't care if they let people in the stands now. They're not filling up stadiums like they were. And I don't think it's all just because of COVID. Interestingly enough, the NFL, all 32 teams, fully, how much will they be filled? How much will they cut off? How much will they keep, still part of the protocol? I don't know. Remember those banners on the first 12, 15 rows, big banners, and they just found another advertising spot for those 15, rows all around the stadium and then bring them in? I don't know. But they're not going to be selling. I don't know. I don't see them selling out. It's not because of the product. I think people are still scared. I think people still, and not only that, guess what? They got to make up for what they didn't make last year. So expect ticket prices to high. But that thinking's backwards. So they need to back up and read. They need to back up and get back to reality. Because I'm telling you right now, I don't know what the ticket costs are. Okay? I will look at that. And next week we'll talk about those ticket prices. But they're going to be through the roof. And next time your guy goes down with a groin injury, you're going to ask yourself the question, is it worth the money? You paid to see LeBron James. Groin injury. Him out of the lineup. Now, I know there's a lot of people out there going, Sonny, you've lost your mind. LeBron James might be a cancer to the NBA.
How dare you say such a thing? That is insanity.
It's not insanity. I can't be there. I know I'm not the only one. NBA is hard to watch. Now, feel-good stories are wonderful. And the NBA needs as many as they can get, right? I made a statement last week on my show about the Dallas Mavericks. I made a statement about the year after they won the championship with Dirk Nowitzki. All you got to do, well, it's hard to do, but go back into the archives of the Couch Potato Sports Show. I'm going to tell you what I said because I still feel the same. Dirk Nowitzki put everything he had into winning that championship. So much so that he didn't have any more, and the years after that were horrible. I don't know. But I come up with another theory on this, and it's the attitude of the NBA player. And I'm going to tell you, I've asked a couple of people about this, so I'm not very far off on this theory. Now, you can call it a conspiracy if you want. But there are some things within the NBA, whether it's the players or whatever the case may be. Let's just ask the question. Dirk Nowitzki was one of the best players for a long time. You may not know where I'm going with this. But the attitude of the NBA player is one that doesn't really get reflected on or is accepted. I don't know what it is. But Dirk Nowitzki, how come people weren't going to Dallas? I'm going to put it out there. And whether or not you agree with it, I don't know. But the NBA players, the superstars of this league, are a certain color. The superstars of this game, I think, with it being predominantly black, didn't want to play with Dirk Nowitzki because of the color of his skin. I believe, and I'm telling you right now, I believe this because you can't tell me back when they were playing well that you can come up with all the excuses about them not coming to Dallas. A billionaire owner that, listen, Mark Cuban just gives people money. As a player, you don't care as long as you get your money they say they're going to give to you. So I'm going that route. I'm telling you right now, some of the attitudes of some of the players, and I know this for a fact, and I can't tell you where I've heard it from, but they tell me I'm not wrong. And part of what I'm saying is true, is that the fact that he was such a great white player, they did not want to play second fiddle to Dirk Nowitzki if they were an NBA superstar. I've got that, and I'm going to tell you right now, that is the reason why we did not see big movements to Dallas after they were in the running for the championship before they won it. And I'm telling you right now, this is an issue. Now, I know, see, I get where people might think that I'm just an asshole, and I don't care, okay? But I know what I think I knew before I even said it. And then when I mentioned it to a couple of people, professional athletes that have got that dark skin, I'm telling you right now, egos of the NBA superstars could not handle playing second fiddle to Dirk Nowitzki. And it's the reason why they did not come here. And they believe what I was thinking. Now, you call me racist all day long. I got a black wife. And I'm telling you right now, I'm just telling you what I've seen also with today's athletes. Okay? Now, what they want to do is totally up to them. And, and that's a prerogative that they don't want to do. But you can't tell me that this was not one of the major reasons why we didn't see any movement to Dallas. Name me one superstar that came to Dallas outside of Dirk Nowitzki when he was in his prime. Name me one superstar, just one. You can't name one. And I'm just I'm just keeping it real. Real simple.
Keeping it real.
Well, by the way, Todd, I'm going to say that the players milk that they stay getting full money as long after you see. But I'm telling you right now, they could have put the Dallas Mavericks on the map. I'm telling you right now. Yeah, okay. All right, let's talk about that. First of all, DeAndre didn't go the first time. He's the one came second time. But you're not talking, when you talk Harrison Barnes and DeAndre Jordan, outside an NBA guy or guys who's in sports, you walk up to a normal NBA fan and ask him who is DeAndre Jordan. How many are going to say they know who they are? But you say James Harden, you know who he is. Kyrie. These guys, even at the time when they were playing, were not the guys. Now, I'm not trying to say, I'm just saying where I have come from and what I've seen and what my experience is. And what ends up happening. I could be wrong, I could be right, but I'm telling you, these are one of the reasons why we have not seen the Dallas Mavericks, which, by the way, in Dirk's prime, listen, I can sit here and say Dirk is the most underrated basketball player in the NBA. I don't believe that, by the way. But the reason why he scored all of his points were the reason why is he was the only weapon. And in the day and age of LeBron having 4 or 5 guys on one team that were weapons, 3 guys, Dirk couldn't get anybody. Why is that? Some guys didn't want to play second fiddle. Those Harrison Barnes and DeAndre Jordan. DeAndre Jordan, I forgot it didn't take it. He came the second time and finally took the money. But that was Dirk on his way out the door at the time when he took that. They did not go. Listen, it is what it is, and keep it. And the interesting thing that's going on, this just broke today. I didn't hear about it until today. And I think it's I think it's a story that has to be told because someone is in the middle of it that is not being treated properly within the business. And as in women in sports, it's a tough thing. I've had Leslie Visser. She's the only woman Hall of Famer, by the way, in NFL football. The only woman. She's been on there. But I have had this young lady on the show. And if you don't know who the young lady is on the left, let me just give you a heads up. That's Rachel Nichols on the left. Which, by the way, she was the only one covering the Cleveland Browns for as bad as they were. And she was one of the main beat writers for the Cleveland Browns for many years before she moved up in the realm of ESPN and became a superstar. In reality, knows her stuff, by the way. And then we get relatively newcomer Maria Taylor. Now, guys, this is a tough story, but it needs to be spoken about. And I'm interested of what this whole story is all about. Because you got to remember the time and put this in context. Listen, you can say a lot of things and people will say, oh, you're racist. No, you put it in context. Listen to the story. This story is huge. Rachel Nichols, under contract at the time, and her job was to host the NBA Finals on their show on ESPN. That was the deal. Her contract, it was written into her contract that that's what they were going to do. I just want them to go somewhere else. It's in my contract the way this job is in my contract in writing. That's her hosting the NBA Finals. Feeling the pressure from when this all happened. This goes back to last year. And during the time where Black Lives Matters and a lot of racial tensions, a lot of things going on as far as race and things of that sort were being really brought up and really talked about as now. But I'm telling you right now, the ESPN Countdown show was not hers. They went ahead and they put Maria Taylor in, and she just called it out for what was perceived as a racist situation against her. Do not call Rachel Nichols a racist because she's not. She called it out. A pregame show call with Taylor and the other commentators, Jalen Rose, Adrian Wojnarowski, and Jay Williams, and the NBA Countdown staff members have turned acrimoniously, and Jimmy Paterno, the ESPN president, has had several phone conversations right now while at a family event to try to smooth this thing over, because this is a big deal. When this went down, it was all about her being under contract, being Rachel Nichols, and then the whole thing gets mishandled because of problems within racism, and the fact that they did not actually address it in a proper way at the time, and then feeling pressure, they decide to go and they make the change. I'm telling you right now, we completely disagree. ESPN has been known to be tough as hell to work for, and they won't forget the quotes. That might be so. That doesn't mean that Rachel Nichols is wrong, and I don't think she signed her death warrant. I think she pointed out something that was a serious deal at the time, and she made her point, and not only that, she lost her job at hosting that show. Now, granted, don't get me wrong, Rachel Nichols got paid, and that's not even the question. It's about what ESPN did based upon pressure, because they've mishandled this thing for years, and she's the victim of them trying to make up for their past mistakes. Rachel Nichols is a badass. Call me a male chauvinist all day long, but half time I don't like listening to women talk about sports because they don't know what the hell they're talking about. They don't even have a clue. They're just in there winging it because they might be in there just because they're a pretty face. Listen, Leslie Visser wasn't that. She had a pretty face back in the day, okay? Nichols is gorgeous, and she knows her. I'm telling you right now, I'll listen to anybody who is intelligent on the sport. And all you got to do is listen to them for a little bit and know if they know what they're. I'll use the example of Colin Cowherd when he first went over to Fox and they had that blonde girl. I forget her name. But she's moved on. She went on to a different show that had really nothing to do with sports, because whenever that woman talked, I was like, geez, really? I mean, really? That's got to be the dumbest take I've ever heard. Listen, I've even given out dumb takes. But Rachel Nichols is one of the smartest when it comes to basketball and football. I want to listen to her. See, I want to listen to Rachel. I don't want to listen to Miss Taylor. And the only reason why I know I don't want to is I've heard her before I knew about all this. I found out about this morning. I listened to Taylor do what she was doing, and I was like, why does ESPN do this? They just put a pretty face on there and they don't know what the hell they're talking about. I know why. The pretty face, not because of the intelligence that's coming from there. It's the reason why Leslie Visser lost her job is not because she didn't know her job, it's because she didn't have pretty face anymore. And listen, exactly. They're divorced, by the way, Dick Stockton and Leslie, but at the time, yes. But she has a valid point of what she's saying. And by the way, before anybody starts calling me racist on it, I'm not. She brought up a point that was valid. When you bring up a point that is valid regarding any kind of race, and if it's a benefit in the white side, it doesn't mean it's racist. It's because it's a fact. At the time when it was happening, ESPN, and they admittedly were under pressure to do something different. Again, listen. Nichols got her money, but she didn't get the notoriety of what she was doing, which was to do that finals. She's a football goddess. This woman knows football. I'd much rather listen to her on football, but that was her gig. She signed the contract for that gig. And ESPN ought to be ashamed of themselves. Yeah, I said it. I don't care. ESPN, you dropped the ball on this. You did it wrong. You fell under pressure because of all the things that were going on, and you cut someone out because you felt pressure because of what you did not do years before, and you took an opportunity for Rachel Nichols to shine, and you took it away from her. You listen, and I'm with her. I don't have anything against Taylor. I don't think she's necessarily as smart, but I'm going to tell you right now, I'd much rather listen to someone who knows it. And this is what Rachel Nichols said. I'm so proud of her, by the way. I wish Mariah Taylor all the success in the world, and I believe that statement, by the way. She covers football and she covers basketball, Nichols said. And this was back in July of 2020. If you remember Black Lives Matter, all that, and you know, all that was going on at the time. So if you need to give her more things to do because you're feeling pressure about your crappy long-time record on diversity, which, by the way, I know personally from the female side of it, which is an exact point, like, go for it. Just find somewhere else. You're not going to find it from me by taking things away from me. And she has a full right to say what she said. It wasn't racist at all. And I'm telling you right now, this whole thing is going to rub everybody the wrong way. She will end up not being with ESPN. She'll be with Fox. Listen, it's not like Rachel Nichols can't go get another job tomorrow. Rachel Nichols will be at Fox as soon as all this go down. I'm telling you right now, Rachel Nichols will be gone within, or they just won't renew her contract or whatever the case may be. and she'll be at Fox, and she'll be at a better place because ESPN has failed on this. And this is not just me saying it. There have been many people saying this situation regarding where some commentators are because of the race and that how they weren't looked up on seriously. That's not me saying it. That's people at ESPN who used to work there, who got canned or whatever, or saw that it wasn't going to go in their way and decided to go a different way. So you got to watch what you say about Rachel Nichols. I'm here to tell you she's not racist by saying what she said. She pointed out a valid point. That was valid. And by the way, spot on. Because if that whole thing didn't go down, Rachel Nichols would have been sitting at that desk. If ESPN wasn't being called out all the time, Rachel Nichols would have been sitting at that desk. They got a lot of work to do over at ESPN. They got, listen, they used to be everything when it comes to sports, but they are falling into a lot. And Brian Tarvin, another host at Wayne Sports Talk, he doesn't do a show anymore because all this fan, but he said it best. We got all people trying to make this sports arena level for everybody. And the fact of the matter is it doesn't happen. Because if a team does something that's best for them and it's a male or whatever the case may be, and I'm talking, we could go to San Antonio and talk about the situation over there. San Antonio, despite her experience as both a professional basketball player and a coach, Becky Hammon was passed again over an NBA head coaching position. Now, is that right? Is it wrong? I don't know. But it goes back to what I was saying about why players are not going to go play with Dirk Nowitzki. Listen, I know young men. I was involved with young men and their egos and what's going on. The Jen Welter thing, by the way, was the biggest joke in the world. Everybody that supported her didn't necessarily really support her. It was just the right thing to say. Yeah, I said it. Yeah, I said it. But can you imagine the NBA basketball stars taking orders from a woman? Now, what she could be there in an assistant role and everything else, everything fine and dandy and everything, but I got news for you. And you can call me whatever you want, but this was the right move for the San Antonio Spurs because of personnel, because of the players. The players were not, listen, I'm just going to say it. Players aren't going to listen to her. Hell, they have a hard enough time listening to the coach. Never mind, you add the fact that it's a woman on there. I don't care how great of a basketball player you were. Now, you want to put that in the D League and everything else as far as that? Listen, okay. And I know I'm going to receive heat for this, but it's not because I don't think that they should coach. I'm saying that the players won't respect them. The players won't respect the woman. And yes, does she have creds? Absolutely. I'm not even questioning her cred, but all you got to do is go back to Nancy Lieberman, by the way. Back in 2009, if you remember, or in the Dallas area, she became the Legends head coach. That was the D League, or they call it the G League, but that was the D, and she was the first woman to lead a men's professional basketball team. She did that for not very long before she went ahead and took the steps up and went into basketball operations along with some great big names. As far as Spud took over as the coach of the team, if you remember that whole situation. And then probably, say whatever you want, probably one of the coaches in NBA history, probably Del Harris, underrated as a basketball coach. He got the rings, but just totally overlooked. But Nancy Lieberman was also in talks of being a coach for some NBA teams. So are they doing what's best for their franchise, that being the San Antonio Spurs? Or not having, or are they ignoring something that they shouldn't ignore? You can have your opinion on that. But the success of your basketball team has to come with whether or not the players will sit there and respect who's going to lead them. And I'm just going to be honest. I'm going to keep it real. I just don't think that that's something that most women will, or most NBA players will do it. Chauncey Billups will have instant credibility to the Trailblazers. 90% of the young players probably never watched a WNBA game when she played. And you're right. Those players can care less. Are they sexist? I don't know. But listen, sometimes you got to go where success. Would I like to see a woman coach? I don't have an opinion. I don't care. I'm not the one making the decision, whether it's right or wrong. But you as an owner, you have to make the decision. Will the guys really go for this? Will they really accept it? Will they really listen to her? Or will this be just a major disaster? And then we're going to be stuck with the decision for 2, maybe 3 years because they can't fire her after the first year. Just can't. If they hire a woman coach, they cannot fire after the first year, and probably not the second. You're probably going to have to go into the third season. Then if you fire in the middle, then the whole thing comes back to, oh, they fired the woman coach. It's a damned if you do, damned if you don't kind of thing. And you're going to have to find the right franchise that will be able to handle. And first of all, it's not the Los Angeles Lakers. It's not the big name. This kind of thing will have to happen, before Portland was bad, good. It has to be a Portland team. It's got to be Utah. It's got to be teams that do not consistently make it to the playoffs, if that will work. And it will be an experiment. And it has to be an experiment on a team that, like the Pelicans. Again, what do I think about it? I don't know. All I know is I know Nancy Lieberman, just for everybody's sake. And if it was me, I'm listening to everything that Nancy Lieberman said. I can respect what she has done. And if I was young, know what I know today about who Nancy Lieberman is. Could it be all about education on who they are? Yes. Can you change the player's attitude, the fact that it's a woman? Call me whatever you want, but I don't see it being successful. This is Real Truth Sunday, by the way. And I know it's a horrible thing to say, but I don't think NBA players would respect her. I don't think they'd listen to her. I don't think they'd give her a rat's fat ass what she thought. And if she said run this play, they'd just run another one just because. That's what I think. So what am I saying? I'm saying the NBA players are the most immature players in the world, and they wouldn't listen to her because they are that immature. And that's a fact, by the way. Could you imagine a female NFL head coach? Could you imagine the players actually? Listen, we can play the political correct thing all day long and say, yes, they'll do it. I'm telling you right now, it's the reason why. In my heyday, when I was really good at this, okay, that kind of thinking would not get me on ESPN. I'm telling you right now. That kind of thinking you can't be open to. I'm telling you right now, I just know players. I know many players, whether it be on the professional level, minor league level, or even on the high school level. They are not going to take a woman. They're just not going to. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. They're just not going to. And they will sabotage it, and it won't work. So why does the how you say it? Why do the San Antonio Spurs have got to eat this? Why do they have to be the ones to hire the first woman head coach? Why does it have to be the Spurs? And again, I'm not saying that a woman shouldn't. I'm just saying realistically, I'm not even necessarily saying it's not going to work, but I'm just questioning whether or not it can. And then you have to ask the question, what GM is going to take the chance with his job on the line to hire a woman and it fails miserably? They got to put in what they can, that they can probably get the success. Again, I don't know. Should a woman coach in the NBA? My thoughts are yes, why not? But I also know what I know. The immaturity of players, they wouldn't respect it. Now, I might be out in left field. I don't think I am. Would I like to see it? Yes, I think I would. But we're talking about not millions of dollars here. We're talking billions of dollars. Never mind the person who hires the first female coach, and if it goes bad, that guy's out of a job. There are a lot of things to keep in consideration for it. And I don't think a team should be pressured in reality to hire a female to be an NBA basketball coach. I just don't think they should. Now, if a team wants to take that stretch, I'm all for it. I read an article, they said, them interviewing her, was that enough? My answer is yes. The article said no. They should have done more and should have hired her. Why? And not to make it sound bad, I know she played in the WNBA. I completely get it. You think those two games are the same? I got news for you. They're not. It's almost like comparing today's basketball games back to the 90s. They're totally different things. Games back in the 90s were totally different than the games that we're seeing today. A woman playing the game in the NBA WNBA it's almost like you ever take magnets and you put them back together and you know how they split? That's what it is. Again, I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm not saying that an NBA team would do it, but I'm not going to give them slack for not doing it. You want to call me a womanizer, you can do it all day long, but I'm telling you right now, the chance of that succeeding in today's game with the egos of those guys, they're going to listen to I'm telling you, it's just I don't see it. They may be better. Todd, listen, of course they're better. That's not the point. But if you think that the NBA is just like the WNBA, I'm telling you, you're living in. I want you to go stick your head out the window. I want you to look up and then tell me what color the sky is in your world, because they're not the same. They're not even close. Now, you want to talk fundamentals of basketball? You want to learn the fundamentals of basketball? You want to see what happens when you play fundamental basketball? Go to a WNBA game, and you'll see that all day long. I saw the Dallas Wings many times. I mean, you want fundamental basketball, you go watch the WNBA. The NBA is showtime. They don't care about fundamentals. You got LeBron James taking 6 steps before he goes and slams a home, and no, that's not traveling. Listen, it's a total different monster. If you compare the NBA to the WNBA, I'm sorry, I think I question your intelligence about NBA and players who play the game. I've been around them. I've been around star athletes for many years. I've been around guys that were on the lower level. Listen, even the guys on the lower level wouldn't listen to a woman. But the NBA is now. I will tell you, I've been to Wings games, so I actually enjoy them. But I go not because of who's in the uniforms. You learn a lot watching a WNBA game. And then you take it over to the NBA game going, what the hell are they doing over there? It sure in the hell ain't what they're doing over in the WNBA, which is fundamental basketball and playing the game like it should have been or should be. It's two totally different things. Take those magnets. And that's what you get. Again, I don't know, good, bad, or indifferent. I'm just telling you what I think. I mean, you can think that I'm a sexist all day long. I'm just telling you what I know about players. And listen, especially NBA players, they're not mature enough to handle this. It's the reason why they shouldn't do it, because it would be a failed experiment. And who wants to be the first one to have that failed experiment? Listen, guys get in front of reporters all day long and lie through their teeth. What makes you think that whatever these guys would say in front of a camera instead of what they're saying with their buds while they're playing video games at home? Imagine some of the shit that they would say about it. Bad enough that their coach is already probably hearing half the shit of what they're saying there. Imagine it being a female. I'm telling you, the NBA and the players are not mature enough to handle that move. On the D League, you can do that. And again, I'm not saying that a woman should not coach in the NBA. I'm saying, is it the right thing for an actual NBA franchise to make that decision for the betterment of their team? And I think, to be honest, knowing players that I know, knowing how I know, the answer is no. If you want success, listen, I would love for it to be a success. And if it is, I'll sit here and be wrong all day long. But I don't think I am. Again, I don't mean to sound sexist. I know players. I know the athletes. I know today's players, and they're just not going to accept this. Hard Truth Sunday is what you got here today. And guys, I'm with the time that, I only usually do 2 hours if I'm flying solo, so I'm a little over on that. But that's what we got going on. I'll ask Cuervo. Cuervo says that he might be able to do a show tomorrow. If that is the case, we will probably pop on. Last time we did it, I think we did it towards the evening. Last time that we did the afternoon show with him on Monday. We did a show. And by the way, lots of people were listening, watching too. So that should be real interesting. So that having been said, Couch Potato Sports Show, check us out on Facebook. Sonny Clark, Couch Potato Sports Show. That's on my personal page. You can find that. I had to set up another that in my name because it was, I don't know. I'm just reading a lot about things I need to do and all this other crap. I'm really good at being lazy, but at the same time, there's things that we're doing. So catch us over there. You can always get up there as where that. Here, I'll put this up. You're absolutely right. That's the reason why the D League would be perfect for it. I don't like the summer league. I think it's a joke. It's almost like the fall league in baseball. Listen, you can see a lot of guys that get time, and that's all this is getting time against players. The summer league is a joke. I'm sorry, it's a joke. Like you said, the big names are not going to be playing over there. It's a joke. The NBA is hard to watch anyway. Never mind, you put in games that mean absolutely nothing in the summer league. Like, who gives a shit? Last time I was interested in that is when one of our guys from the Rowlett Eagles, Jeffrey Carroll, was actually on the summer league roster for the Los Angeles Lakers. Now he's playing over in Italy. He's a superstar over in Italy. Congratulations to him. Also, guys, don't forget SOAR Championship Wrestling, July 10th. Make sure you get an opportunity to head on over there to check that out, because I'm going to tell you right now, it's a lot of fun. We've been, obviously we've been doing, I do the commentary for that, by the way, with my I call him my sidekick. He calls me his sidekick. Seeing how I'm the play-by-play guy. I don't know how I ended up getting the sidekick name, but that having been said, that is what it is. So that is on July 10th. So the Couch Potato Sports Show, me, Sonny Clark, will be doing that. It's going to be a lot of fun if you get the opportunity, especially here for those that are in the Dallas area. Get on over there and check it out. It's going to be a lot of fun. SOAR Mania was outstanding, by the way. Guys, we had some great stuff over at SOAR Mania. It was just fantastic. And so the fallout that does happen on Saturday, let me see, did I upload the picture to that? Let me just check. I did. There it is. Bang, right there. So check out Sormania, the Fallout Dallas Elks Lodge, and that is at 7 o'clock. You can check that out. It's going to be a lot of fun. You see lots of champions in there. But Sormania, we had Congo Kong. I mean, outstanding. Gino Garcia was there. And Congo Kong, Gino Garcia, Alexander Hammerstone was there, and the main event, Austin Aries going up against Dante Smiley. What a match. What a match. Sormania was great. Check out Sormania, the Fallout on July 10th over at the Dallas Elks Lodge. If you know where Sormania was held, it's literally across the street, one street down across the street. Dallas Elks Lodge. Check that out. So that's going to do it for me here on a Sunday. Hard Truth Sunday is what I probably should have called the show, because that's what I gave you. I gave you hard truths. I gave you the real truth. Whether or not you agree with it or not, the lovely Lois, my wife, agreed with me, which, guys, I'm telling you right now, I was checking the thermometer. I was checking to see if hell froze over, because I couldn't believe she actually agreed with me. She did. So that being said, I will let you know about tomorrow. I will find out from Cuervo what his schedule is. And as I will be available, so I'll see if Cuervo gets on. We'll talk a little bit more about what we talked about today, and of course some of the things that will happen between now and then. There'll always be something to talk about. So that's going to do it for me, Sonny Clark. Everybody have a great 4th of July. Enjoy the macaroni salad, the coleslaw, the brats, the hamburgers, the hot dogs. I had brats, coleslaw, and macaroni salad. That's what I had. Everybody enjoy the fireworks, and make sure you get to it. And by the way, no bitching about, they were shooting off fireworks until 3 in the morning. I couldn't sleep. Well, go take a nap. Shut up about it. That's my advice. I'm Sonny Clark. Everybody have a good one. Bye-bye.